Hello everyone, welcome back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make this particular dress. Okay, so it is actually a corset because it has bonings, but we have a tube inside this corset. So I'll be showing you how to make this dress from the front line on the front piece. So here I have my shoulder line, I have my chest line, I have my bust point, under bust point, I have my waistline. So these are my vertical measurements. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to build the tube. So I'll be placing my tape right here and I'm going to get my midpoint. This is my midpoint. So my midpoint, I'm going to connect it to the bust point. That is the first thing to do. Secondly, I'm going to take my bust radius around, around, okay, so you can see me taking the bust radius all around. So this is where my bust is going to sit. So right here on this line, my bust radius falls here. So I love to always go up by 0.75 from this line to create my neckline. So this is it. So it all depends on what you actually want. So this neckline, if I want it deeper, that is my sweet neckline deeper, I can connect it from that point to the chest line. If I want it shallower, so you have to measure your line. So if I want it shallower, I'll go this way. Okay, so if I want it shallower, I'll be having I will come up by 0.5 from the chest line and I'll just connect to that point. So by that I'll have a shallower one, but I want to make it fall into the chest line. Okay, and I'm going to allow it run into my armhole. So you can see how I place my ruler, so it runs into my armhole accordingly. So at this point, I'll just stop at this point before I go over to contour and do all other things. I want to first of all create the outer layer of this dress, which is the corset part. So I'm making an extension on the neckline. You can see me making an extension on the neckline right here. So this extension, I'm going to make it at 0.5. Okay, so from here to here, I extended by 0.5. So this 0.5, I'm going to measure from here to here. I will connect it at 1 inch. So I'll just go ahead and do just like we have our Queen Anne. Okay, our Queen Anne neckline. So I'll just do this. I'm using my curvy part because if you notice, we also have that part curving again into. Okay, so I'm using the curvy part, so it has that curvy look. So from that point, I'm going to come down from my bust point by, I'll just divide the distance between my bust point and my under bust. I'll just divide it by 2. Okay, because if I say take 1 inch, some people's bust point might be lower than that. So just divide it by 2, get the midpoint. So this midpoint, I'll transfer it to the center front. Okay, so if I transfer to the center front, I'll be having this. So I'll just make a straight line connection. Okay, so this connection, I'll still extend it a little more out here. So what I'm trying to do now is to create that curved look you are seeing right there on the thumbnail. So can you see? So this is the curved look. So this is exactly how the curvy part of this is going to look like. So I'm going to trace this my pattern out. That is this part. I'm going to trace it out right away. once I'm done tracing it out, I'll come back to continue creating my bust, my darts for the tube. All right, lovely people, so before we go ahead to the tracing of this pattern, note that we have a little back extension. So this back extension, I'm increasing my waistline by 2 inches, and I'll just do what, connect the backs back to the waistline. It's just a little back extension, it's not too much. So if you need it much basque, you can come down by 4 inches, and that will be your basque. So now I'm going to trace out what I have on this pattern, as you can see. So the part I'm tracing now, I'm actually seeing through my work. So I just trace this way, I'll come this way. So I'm using the part of the rulers I used when constructing them to trace, so I'll be able to get it accurately. So I come down here, this is it, and I'll get to the basque. I'll come back to the basque. So I've already extended my line to the back line, and I'll bring in my ruler to have the curve. Okay, please don't allow your pattern, you can use something to tape it down, don't allow it to go off the lines. So I'll just come in with my curve ruler the same way I did, and I'll trace it out. So for this part, I'm not going to trace my bust dart. There won't be any bust dart to this, so I'll just go ahead this way and trace this out. Then I'm going to trace out my waist dart. So I'll have my waist dart traced here, this way and that way. So later I will close it up. So this is how we are going to have this pattern. But remember that the bust dart technique, once we close the 2 inches, it shifts, it's going to shift. So since I'm not closing up my bust dart, I'll simply take away the 2 inches here, right there, and I'll reconnect that bust part. Okay, so that is how we are going to have this. So I've taken away the 2 inches. So now I'm going to cut what we have right here. And my body channels, I'm going to design it right on top of this. I'll come over to my center front. I'll go here. So this is what I need, okay? This is what I need on this line. So okay, all right, so the next thing I want to do, I will just go ahead and cut and tape it down. So I can just go ahead and tape it down. Okay, so once I do that, I'll just reconstruct my line once again. I'll just bring back my line. I need to, put a pepper under. So I'll be putting small piece of pepper under it All right, so that will make it easier for me to have this basque line the way it should be. Okay. All right, so that is that. So by the time we close up this bust dart right now and cut off our waist dart, everything matches accordingly for us. So right here you can sew your boning channels. You can have your first boning channel here, you can have the other here. You can just go ahead and sew your Regline boning channels. So you have 2, 3, 4 Regline panels, and the main one will be right here. Okay, so now we'll now jump into the corset, the tube itself. So for the tube dress, which will be inside this dress, I'll just go ahead and mark 0.75, 0.75. So once I've marked 0.75, I'll quickly connect to the bust point. I'll flip my pattern this way and connect to the bust point. So for the under bust line, I'll place my tape at the center front, and I'm going to mark my under bust circumference, divide by 4. This is it. What I have here, I'll be putting 0.25 here, and the rest of my 1 inch right here. So I'll just go ahead and do this. Flip my ruler this way and do this. Then I'll just go ahead and connect. So I'll extend these lines. I'll just extend it to that point. Then I'll be connecting my bustier right to this point. And we are done with this dress. So I'll just go ahead and cut the basque. So I'm just cutting the tube part of this dress right now on the center front. So this is how I'm going to sew this. So you'll be having your bustier sewn at that point. So I'll just cut off this. So I'll close up my bust dart now. So once I close up my bust dart, this becomes the one inside. Can you see? So this one inside will be there, while the part of the corset, okay, will come up this way. So by the time you have sewn this together, that is making your bustier, by the time you have sewn it. So another thing I want to say is you need to also match up these lines. Can you see? I just thought of showing you this right now. You can see if you match up this line, because of the darts, there will be a shortage. So you have to, at every point in time, recreate your basque. So you'll be able to have that basque. So I'll just cut off here, and I've recreated my bags, as you can see. So by the time you sew, you can see everything matches up for you. So by the time you join this together, you'll be placing this right on top of this way. Can you see? So I just placed it this way for you to have a little idea of how it's going to look like. So I'm just putting this part, because this part is a part that will be sewn. Then you have your cup. Can you see? So if I have to put my cup together, I have my cup. So let me just hold it here. You can see the cup part is coming up. Now I'll bring this one. So I just want you to see what I actually did here. So once I sew this on top of this, I'm going to sew this first. So this one will be okay. So it will just come out the way you see it come out on the thumbnail. Then this one will be connected to the back. So that is how we'll come to the end of this tutorial. So these are the two patterns you need, this and this. Okay, so this is the one that will have your full boning technique, and it will be cut twice. I'm cutting 2 times of this. Sorry, I'm cutting this on fold because that is the center front. So by the time I open it up, you have it opened. Your boning lines will be sewn according to your style and your design. This will be sewn and padded on its own. Okay, this one with the boning lines will just come and rest on top of it like this. Okay, so thank you very much for coming to this tutorial, and that is how we'll come to the end of this class, and I believe you learned a lot from this class. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. So thank you for coming, and see you in the next class.